Wargamers, yesterday we started to get a better idea of what the new Eldar Codex is going to look like, as well as some hints about what the new Tyranids are going to look like when they come out in November. So let's talk about that and see what it means for us going forward. Before we do that though, I want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead, hit the like button and the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming 8th edition content. Okay, so for the Tyranids, let's just get that out of the way. They basically had a little hint at the end saying, yes, Tyranids are coming in November, and don't worry, it's not just new rules. There's new art too. So that was a major tease. I can't say that I really appreciate that because there's always new artwork. Well, almost always new artwork, so that's really not that notable. So thanks, GW. I like the new artwork, but I didn't need it. Really what we want is new models. Not that the Tyranid line itself is lacking. Tons of awesome models came out last time, so I'm happy with the current range, but it's a tease to say that it's not just rules coming out, because, yeah, it's pretty much just rules coming out. So, alright, on to the Eldar, on to the meaty part of this video. For Eldar, we learned a bunch of stuff. The release is going to include a codex, of course. It's also going to include a re-release of Eldrad in plastic form, so you can buy him as just like a clamp pack. And then also the Ynnari Triumvirate are coming out as well, including rules to use them with your Craft World Eldar list. So you don't need to buy a separate Ynnari codex, apparently, is what this is suggesting to me. So you don't need to buy 2 codices if you want to use your Craft World Eldar as Ynnari. You can just buy you know, the Ynnari Triumvirate or get the rules elsewhere, supposedly. And that's all you need. So that's interesting. We'll have to see what the Ynnari rules include, because really the biggest issue that we have with the Ynnari rules right now is that there's really no downside to taking them. Yes, there are some you know, rules that you have to follow and some specifications, but overall there's almost no reason not to be Ynnari as opposed to just taking Craft World Eldar. So doing this this new release, hopefully they address that. That's really something that I want to see, is some downside to taking Ynnari. Either some restriction on the units that you can take, or some sort of penalty for doing it, or some sort of toned down you know, soul burst mechanic, because right now it's just too good compared to the standard Craft World rules. So that's what we're going to see there. There's also going to be some awesome new dice release, one for each of the Aspect Warriors. So there's a Shining Spear one, a Striking Scorpion, Howling Banshee, Dire Avengers, Fire Dragons, who else? Oh, Dark Reapers. So we have dice of all sorts of different colors for each of those Aspects Warriors, which is awesome. Very excited. And yeah, so that's really what the main release is going to be, is just these rules and repackaging and dice, which is fine. They're also going to be doing some you know, rare model reprints and stuff that you can do for 1 week only. You know, basically those web exclusive models, and that's cool. There's some nice sculpts in there that really bring home some nostalgic value and also just are nice sculpts. So if you're a fan of Eldar and you don't have those models, I would definitely pick up at least a couple of them, especially some of the Warlocks and the Spirit Seers and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool sculpts that you don't see that often anymore. Alright, so let's talk about the Craft World preview. Specifically, we got insight into the Iyanden Craft World, which is the Wraith Craft World. They have emphasis on Wraith Guard, Wraith Knights, Wraith Lords, that sort of thing. And we actually got a pretty good idea of what this Craft World is going to look like in the new codex based on the past couple of days of previews. To begin with, the Eldar Craft World Get Started box now has a Wraith emphasis. It has a Farseer, a Warwalker, some Wraith Guard, and a Wraith Lord in it as well. So plenty of Wraith units, no you know, standard Guardians or anything like that, no Viper, none of that business. It sets you up really well for an Iyanden Craft World army right off the bat. So maybe these guys are going to be the new poster children for Craft World Eldar. Maybe we'll see emphasis on these guys instead of Ynnari moving forward, but who knows. So far it looks really positive for Iyanden. The first thing that they have is the kind of Craft World trait called Stoic Endurance. it makes it so that they can only ever take one casualty as a result of morale, which is really nice. It means that you can take big units of Guardians if you want, and you're not going to lose a bunch of them to morale, which is awesome. Additionally, big units, units that have a damage chart, need to take double the amount of wounds indicated on that chart to go down a tier. So for a Wraith Knight, you need to inflict 17 wounds on it before you see any reduction in its capabilities, which is crazy. That's really durable and really impressive. So, Wraith Knights, you haven't seen a lot of them in 8th edition. Maybe this will push the meta a little bit more in their favor. Maybe they're going to come back and be a bit more worthwhile now that you actually have to, effectively do double the number of wounds to remove them from the table. So that's pretty awesome. There's also a relic for Iyanden called the I keep messing this up. The Psychronome. It's like a Psyker metronome, Citronome, and it allows your Wraith units to basically double their number of attacks for one turn, and in exchange for that you take D3 mortal wounds. But hey, if you are able to double the number of Wraith Guard or Wraith Blades in a unit effectively in terms of number of attacks, and then only lose up to one Wraith Blade in exchange, that's pretty darn awesome. That's a deal I will take any day. So wow, that's going to make them really durable or really impressive in close combat. Not that they weren't to begin with, but in addition to that, lesser Wraith units like Wraith Blades, like Wraith Lords, got +1 toughness. So for Wraith Blades, that means that they're toughness 6 now instead of toughness 5, which is a pretty big deal. There's some strength 5 shooting out there like with Tau, and a lot more strength 6 shooting out there with Plasma. So that means now that strength 6 is no longer wounding on 3s, it's wounding on 4s. And that's a 33% increase in durability for Wraith Guard. So yeah, nothing to scoff at there. So yeah, and that's for no points increase at all. So really looking at a greater role for Wraith units with these new abilities, really making them a lot more viable and a lot more deadly in close combat especially. We also know that Spirit Seers are getting a psychic power called Empower or Enervate. It basically adds +1 or -1 to a unit's wound roll in the fight phase. So again, making Wraith Blades a lot better than they were before. Being able to just add 1 to a wound roll when the wound chart is so spread out now. It used to be that if you went up 1 strength, you added 1 to your wound roll basically, but now you have to double out before you really see that type of change in your statistics. So being able to just add 1 to a wound roll is insane. That's awesome. So again, really seeing a benefit for these Wraith units and really looking like they're going to be quite formidable in close combat. Additionally, there's going to be a stratagem for 1 command point called Guided Wraith Sight, and that basically allows Wraith units to reroll all misses. Normally they have the ability to reroll 1s when they're within range of a Spirit Seer, but now they get to reroll all the misses. All the misses, guys, and that is something that is rare in the current edition. So again, just a really solid list. Overall, it looks like Iyanden is going to be very durable and also very reliable. They're probably not going to have as much flexibility as other craft worlds. If you're looking at using Wraith Guard, you're not going to be investing a lot in aspect warriors or something like that. You're going to be relatively confined in your strategy, but they're going to be consistent. They're going to be durable. You're going to have to really put a lot of work to take them out. And if they do reach you, if they do, if they're able to shoot or fight you in close combat, they're going to get the job done because they're going to have the weaponry to do it, and they are going to have the dice that are going to make it happen. Not necessarily in sheer number, although they are going to be able to put out plenty of shots. But being able to reroll, being able to add 1 to your wound roll is just crazy. They are manipulating the statistics in a way that makes them very, very reliable, and that's huge. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys on the tabletop. I'm sure they're going to be quite formidable. Overall, yeah, very exciting. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course, happy wargaming.